First of all, Chair, I'd like to make a special statement from myself that it was not easy for me to get information about Adani. This information came to me from a young man who's called Nelson Amenya, who lives in France. The young man sits in one of the investment companies in France, and he saw these documents pass on his desk. When he called me, the information that I was speaking made me, first of all, get worried about himself, because as you realize, Chair, I actually publicly have stated that the information Nelson Amenya has given me as of 3 days ago is that he has found some people who are following him in France, and he has actually, we have been talking to some people to create a safe haven for him so that he can be siphoned out of France. That's how delicate and personal this matter is to some of us. So, CS, I would like to, if you come across any of your friends who have been participating in this thing, tell them to leave Amenya alone. Tell them what we are trying to do is discussing issues about either we accept that Kenya is going to be a country of public good or is going to be a country of private good. And what we are saying is that we have information that we are going to table here, and I will tell you, my CS, some of these things are shocking, completely shocking. I would like to ask you, you can answer or you can keep the information and answer me before. Chair, I will start with asking the CS. Do you know somebody called Jayesh Saini?
Yes, I do.
Thank you. How do you know him?
I think it's in the health industry.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Would I be wrong if I said that Mr. Jayesh Saini is the one who has actually been given the transaction of managing our SHIF, which is the new development out of NHIF, because he's the owner of Nairobi West Hospital, and he is the one who is actually been given the complete system of the financial management of the SHIF.
Point of order. I would want, Senator, we restrict ourselves to the mandate.
Chair, I think you're wrong.
No,
you're wrong, Chair. There's a reason why. You have to allow me to interrogate the matter. You must allow me to interrogate the matter to its logical conclusion.
Let me explain.
Then you can make a ruling.
And when you get out of the rail...
I am not. There's a relationship between the corruption that is happening with the Adani deal and what Mr. Jayesh is doing.
Because
so, Mr. Chair,
Senator,
don't get keep for him. Please don't.
No.
Point of order, Chair.
Don't get keep for him. You are going the wrong way, Chair.
Senator Onyonka, just 1 minute, please.
Yes.
Chair, it is quite possible that there is somewhere that Onyonka...
There is a nexus. I'm trying to create the
Allow
nexus.
him.
Allow me to make my case.
Senator Onyonka, allow him. Just let me explain something, Chair. It is possible that there is somewhere that Senator Onyonka is driving at.
That is where I'm going.
Just
allow me to go where I'm going.
Senator Onyonka, you're out of order.
Yes, he is not listening. And I'm trying to correct.
SG, I am telling you now, you're out of order.
No, Chair, can
Chair,
you protect Senator Onyonka? Because if now Senator Sifuna invokes the power of being an SG, he might chicken out from pursuing...
No, I'm on the mic to just guide the Chair.
Yes.
I was saying it is possible there is somewhere...
Order, you cannot guide the Chair.
In terms of nexus, you allow him to, and I don't want to use this aviation analogy, let him land the point. Let's see where he's going with it. Just give him a little bit...
I was afraid of getting out of context and losing Kenyans, because the issue you're dealing with is the issue of the airport, JKIA. So I thought he has lost his...
Chair, I am giving you
by talking about health.
There is a nexus. No,
I was just trying to bring him to
allow me to set it up.
Okay, now ask your question.
Question I'm asking, I asked him, does he know Jayesh Saini? He said yes. Allow me to interrogate him.
Continue, you have
Thank you, sir.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
CS, would I be wrong to say that Mr. Saini is the agent of Adani in Kenya? The answer is yes or no. It's up to you.
I'm not aware.
You're not aware. Are you also aware that meetings that took place in Dubai where this deal was being discussed, Mr. Jayesh Saini was sitting in that meeting with individuals from the Kenyan government, and I will state here that the person who met Mr. Jayesh Saini in Dubai was Honorable Murkomen when he was the minister in the position you are in.
I am not aware.
Without having evidence that I can prove, but I think it's important that I make the statement that in that meeting that money exchanged hands. And Chair, later on, I believe as we continue, these details should be presented to this House. The second issue I wanted to ask the CS, in your understanding, I want you to go to where Honorable Chirchir was. You go to page, Chair, we start with the consideration of the project progress, minute 6. I want you to go there, Chair. And your MD of KAA could answer this because it directly involves him, but again, it is under your jurisdiction. A PPP project is considered under the following factors: value for money, affordability, commercial value, manageability, and acceptability. The PIP by AHL was submitted on the 1st of March. The evaluation report submitted to the PPP committee on the 8th of March. On the 13th of March, they conducted a feasibility study, and on the 28th of March, submitted a feasibility study report on the 3rd of May. During that period, if you notice, this is only 1 month. Is that possible that this could be done? 18 days.
Like you did say, I will allow the CEO to answer that, but this is the feasibility study that I did call in my opening remarks, in my opening response. An initial desktop due diligence was done by KAA and the PPP Directorate. So to the extent that you are just getting information desktop from the internet, from which airports they have built, like what we've gotten from the letter from Senator Roba, that could be done in a day.
You've not answered my question, sir. This report, I repeat it to you, please, I'll be very slow. The PPP project is considered under the following factors: value for money, affordability, commercial value, manageability, and acceptability. The PIP by AHL was submitted on the 1st of March. Please write that date down. Yeah. After that, the evaluation report, which was submitted, was done on the 8th of March. Next, on the 13th of March, they also ended up conducting another feasibility study. Then on the 28th of March, they submitted a feasibility study report, I believe, to your committee for approval. The question I'm asking you, in a period of 30 days, do you believe that somebody can actually get into our airport infrastructure, do a feasibility study, talk to the people who work there, talk to all the stakeholders, and then make a presentation that you use as a CS and make a logical conclusion about this exercise?
I think, Chair, what we're basically saying is PIP, privately initiated proposal, has been submitted to JKIA on that date. They could just submit it to the PPP committee with a covering letter.
You agree that they actually did the feasibility and finished and gave you all the
That's why I call it a desktop. They are basically saying
No. In this statement, there's nowhere they have said it is desktop. So the answer I expect you to give is yes.
It can be done.
It can be done.
It is just preliminary work, and we are submitting to the committee for consideration.
Thank you.
It can be done.
Go back to where Honorable Chirchir was, and he said there were different quarters in government who had an issue about, that is the board. That is the board telling you that this report which is being tabled, there are certain individuals in government, and this comes immediately after this feasibility study, after this report you are saying that it can be done. In 30 days, individuals were sitting and telling us that our airport, which is worth 1.2 trillion shillings, can actually be given somebody at 136 billion shillings for a period of 35 years or whatever it is. Did it occur to you, Bwana Waziri, that when people in government have an interest in this matter, what did it mean to you? Because we didn't know. So I'm talking to you as an outsider. What was your interpretation of this?
Like I've said, Chair, on again and again, we've not had many PPP projects succeeding in Kenya. And even as we sit here, we are asking ourselves, should it be PPPD, should it be PPP? And therefore, was the board privy to the full runway of the PPP process? Did it mean submitting to the Treasury was for approval? No, it was going to stage 2, it would go to stage 3, it could go to stage 5. We're currently doing a detailed due diligence, a proper due diligence that you visit, you answer the kind of, you look at all the details, and by the time you reach stage number 20, it will possibly be a procurement cycle that is taking a whole year. So to the extent that we are employing PPP for mega projects because we don't have the kind of outlay capital to invest, somebody is possibly asking also in KAA, why not competitive PPDD process and so on and so forth. But this is just stage 2 of the 20 stages, Honorable Chair.
CS.
But let me allow.
CS, just a minute.
Yeah.
Through the chair, Senator.
Through the chair, thank you, Chair. CS, that's not what I asked you about. You are a cabinet secretary in government. You have gotten a document that has been written by a board. Let's assume this board is Sony Sugar. And members of the board tell you, you want to hold a PPP exercise in this factory. We are uncomfortable with it because we have received information that some of your government officials and people, big-time players in your government, have an interest in that matter. What does that imply
to let me
just on a point of order, Mr. Chairman, that question was asked to the CS, and the CS is the one who taken oath. If the acting managing director wants to answer, he has to do so with permission from the CS. But you cannot just jump in.
Is well advised?
it is, and the CS should allow you to take the microphone.
Yeah.
But I understand you don't understand, so we accept that. CS,
CS,
can we proceed?
Feel free to direct any member of your team to assist in answering questions.
I'll do that, Chair. I think to the extent that we've received a PIP proposal to basically build an airport that we've been desiring to build for 13, 14, 15 years. If I received a PPP proposal today for Mausami Bironi, I'll possibly be trying to push it within the next 1 week to ask ourselves, is it true that somebody can build for us this road? It's not something that I want to sit on in my office. I'll possibly be talking to everybody and saying, we have this proposal, can it work? And therefore, depending on the agency, there could be interest. There's no question about that. But I did say, Chair, that I've just gone back to my step 1 to step 20, to the extent that even if the board was sitting to consider this, there's a whole due process, including why we are appearing in Senate today. Difficult questions, some of the simple questions because of lack of information. Satisfy everybody that the due process must be followed.
Is very simple. Who delivered the report, the evaluation report, and how was it delivered? to whoever that received it, the proposal.
Can the question be made clear in terms of, is it the delivery process or?
You see, there is even about how the board met, and in a period of 30 days, there was everything that was taking place, and that was geared towards producing a report to justify and prove why this is a very good deal. Who delivered that report, and when did they deliver it? And how did they deliver it? There's a reason why I'm asking that question.
Yes, you want to assist me on this, but the more I think about the 30 days, I think they took so long if we really needed an airport. If you receive that today, it would be out of...
I'm looking at the documents you gave me. You are the one who gave me the
Which point
document.
of order, Chair? I think the CS should give us, should respect our intelligence. We're not talking some nursery school kids. Respect our intelligence and address us as adults and address us as senators of the Republic of Kenya.
Are you addressing Chirchir or addressing the chair?
I'm addressing...
I think the best thing for us to do is that on a CS, when a question is directed to you, just be direct to the point
And
to
simple.
avoid, you know, and answer. If you know the answer, I say I do. If you don't, we are lenient as a committee. We can always read between the lines. So kindly, and also it's also good for us to know that we are governed by the standing orders. And I'm really withholding, you know, invoking some of the standing orders, like Standing Order 105, which is a statement of facts whenever we are interacting with this department or with this issue. So let's restrain ourselves to the issue at hand, which brought us to this committee. By so doing, we'll be able to get answers. And that's why, if initially when we started, remember we were giving every senator about 3 minutes, so that you ask your questions and you get response. So the moment you bring this kind of interaction, you will have point of orders, and we might lose the points that you want to execute.
I actually nearly want to agree with you, but let me tell you why I'm cross-examining the CS.
No, proceed with
the
the
reason.
questions.
Please
Proceed.
allow me. There's a very good reason I want to do that.
Chair, with you know, yesterday I said something about CS Chirchir. He's one of the few people, out of my interactions with cabinet secretaries, and you know I have a very low opinion of the cabinet, but he's one of the few who is usually very forthright. So, Honorable CS, I am, you remember I owe you something. Congratulations. Please don't get derailed. I need you to be the same forthright person. If something is wrong, Honorable CS, the CS that I know, will say it is wrong. And it was not you. You are not there. Yeah, so throw people under the bus if you must, but you must retain.
Maybe Senator Onyonka is scaring him.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Chair. He's my former year mate in the university. We love each other. We've spent quite a bit of time together. Yes. I'm just trying to make sure we get the truth about this. The next question I want to ask, actually, Chair, through you, is not to the CS. I want to ask the gentleman who has been acting. And you said your name is who?
Henry Ogoye.
How long have you been at the airport?
Since 2006.
Since 2006. Please allow me to interrogate this. Chair, I would like to present this document to you because it's a public document. That is the report that was done by Honorable Kosing under the Hansard, and that report, very, very fortunately, Chair, our deputy chair was in that committee. My current deputy president, Honorable Gachagua, was in that committee, and the other person who was in that committee was Honorable the Solicitor General, Mr. Mose, Shadrach Mose. Why do you think the report which came 2018, and it was saying that we cannot give our airport under the PPP arrangement, why did the committee make recommendations that that should be stopped? And when did the government change the policy? The same question that Honorable Sifuna is asking. For us Not doing competitive.
Include JKIA so that you can be able to send it out to run it differently?
Honorable Chair, there are various ways of running our business. There are businesses we can run directly. There are businesses which we run through the support of the private sector. Like we run a number of concessions across the network. What we've run into is the fact that we don't have the financial muscle to expand the infrastructure at JKIA. The infrastructure is 10 years behind. If we look at our balance sheet, we are not able to address that infrastructure deficit. And that's why it came to us that can we invoke the PPP Act 2021 to address that deficit. The fact that we are going to give, we are going to concession part of the airport for purposes of aeronautical facilities. When I talk of aeronautical, I mean the airside, things to do with the runway, the parking bays, the terminal building. It doesn't mean that we are going to vacate our responsibility. In any case, there is no operator which will operate at the airport without being supervised by Kenya Airports Authority.
Chair, could I proceed, please? How many minutes do you need? Because I think you have 5 more minutes. That's right. I'll rush through it so long as nobody stops me. Okay. And Mr. Ogoye, you have been in civil aviation for how long? Through you, Chair.
For 19 years.
Thank you. When you were negotiating with Adani, you understand how the Kenyan civil aviation infrastructure is set up vis-a-vis the private, civil aspects of our aviation and the military aspect of aviation. Did you decide or even think of negotiating with Adani what they are going to do with our military presence? Because we use the radar at the airport is used by our military and also by civil aviation.
Honorable Chair, within the agreement, we have something called the word common services.
Wait, an agreement with who?
No. We've already shared with you the heads of terms.
Yes.
Heads of terms is a summary of negotiation items.
Yes.
Within that set of terms, there are certain common use services which have been identified. And even the fact that...
I want to help you. Have you ever seen any country in the world that gives its civil or military aviation responsibility to a private company to run?
You see, Adani, when any concessionaire who is coming to operate the airport will confine itself to the commercial side of the airspace.
Through you, Chair, how would they do it unless the military has bought its own radar?
I think if you are aware, the way the airport, the civil aviation is structured in the country, Kenya Civil Aviation Authority is in charge of the airspace management. And any airport operator must comply with the requirements of Kenya Civil Aviation Authority. Just like Kenya Airports Authority, Kenya Civil Aviation Authority is in charge of the airspace management. And any airport operator must comply with the requirements of Kenya Civil Aviation Authority. Just like Kenya Airports Authority complies, any concessionaire who comes on board must also salute that regulation in terms of responsibility with respect to the usage of the airspace.
So through you, Chair, what you are actually telling me is that yes, all the air traffic controllers that we have in the Republic of Kenya would not be interfered with by Adani.
I can confirm.
Where is that agreement?
It is hosted by Kenya Civil Aviation Authority because.
Would you be candid enough and agree to table it when we are meeting here next?
I would suggest, in the interest of separation of responsibility, that you direct the PS, our PS, to invite the DG or KCA to come and confirm that.
Whether you want the PS to bring it or the CS, my argument, I'm saying that agreement was not delivered to us, and I would like to be presented.
Because it was not.
The next thing I want to raise, Chair, is asking my brother, the CS. There is an amount that is supposed.
Please.
The concession fee that is being negotiated right now stands at $50 million to be paid by the proponent. Adani.
And if you don't, that is not true. So I'll ask my colleague to present that information. We are the ones who are actually supposed to pay that amount of money in case we don't oblige to the agreement, particularly if that agreement has been signed. So I want to raise the issue. Go to page 38, section 7.4, preliminary financial proposal.
This is the money Adani wants to be paid.
Yes.
If we cannot raise this money, we have to pay.
Are we discussing the proposal or the agreement?
It's on the report.
No. What I'm trying to say
is the proposal that Adani is presenting to Kenya.
Which the country, as per the CS, had said, they have not gone to the point of the agreement.
No,
so
but it's good for Kenyans.
The draft proposal.
Chair, it's good for Kenyans to know what we're getting into. That is it. Yeah, let's see the baby.
Let's see how they have dressed up this baby. As indicated on table 8 below, we are proposing a fixed concession to be updated post-feasibility study. So it could go to $100 million US. Some of the assumptions in competitive assessment of JKI's historical and current error charges. I
was asking, Senator, so that we don't be seen to be discussing a document that is a proposal, as the CS has said, that they
Chair, this is what he tabled.
No. Just
this is what
let me come out clear. Yeah, let me come out clear, because you see, a proposal just is a draft. That's what we want to understand. And then, if you can just listen to me.
And that's why, because we don't want to take the committee's time to discuss a document that what would I want us to deal with, is that according to direct the path that we have to take, so that we don't even discuss the colors. The CS is what he has submitted, what he has said it's not being dealt with, or they have to be proper to take Kenyans through a document that is already
what kind of wedding they want to hold.
Just 1 minute.
It's okay. That would determine your judgment.
No.
The point, Chair, the point I'm making is, and I say this with a lot of humility, Chair, don't get keep for them.
I'm just
Chair,
this
is their document.
Can I help, Chair?
Yes.
Senator,
this is their document.
Just 1 minute, Chair. You see, the Senator is reading from the Adani proposal. Perhaps what you could direct that the CS responds to.
Just like we dealt with, you remember when I read the original proposal from Adani saying the runway is not a priority, they would have to evaluate traffic and see if it is necessary. So the ministry should tell us this proposal on a fixed concession fee, how have they treated it? Because it's a proposal, it's not a draft. This is the proposal that was received from Adani. During the course of the negotiations that are going on, how has the Ministry of KA treated this proposal? That's all they need to say.
And I believe the CS, I'm just trying to give direction.
Because the first question that the CS said here is that there is no agreement, it is just a proposal. So the question is, and I want members also to go along with me, is whether you would want to discuss
a love letter or that proposal or marriage certificate.
Sure. It is because, not also correct.
Because and I want it, I don't want to be seen that I'm stopping Senator Onyonka from executing his point. My point is as easy as that. The CSA, there's no agreement, there's no proposal. So do you want us to spend time?
Allow me to guide you on one thing, Chair. Yes. It is not correct, by the way, to say there is no agreement. What the ministry or the KA should be saying, there is no final agreement, because the head of terms is an agreement. So what they need to tell you is how have they treated this proposal on a fixed concession fee? How did they understand it? How have they treated it? In now, when you look at the agreement or the heads of terms, how have they treated it? Because they have been explaining how they have treated the other proposals.
Explain that very briefly.
I think it's fairly straightforward. If you refer to page 24 of the heads of terms, which 12.4, which basically defines the concession fee, and where the head of terms, though non-binding, has brought out what has been kind of agreed, we will be able to answer Senator Onyonka's question. Page 20.
Chair, through you, Chair.
Yeah, proceed.
I would like to state that a permanent concession means that in case we sign this agreement and Adani does not make any money whatsoever, or if anything goes wrong, then we will have to pay that money depending on what it is on a yearly basis, whether they make a profit or not. Mr. Boya, am I right or have misinterpreted this agreement?
Okay. Honorable Chair, as you may be aware, we run a network of 22 airports. Among them, JKI is the major operator. When we are concessioning out JKI, the other airports have to operate. And to meet that requirement, we need a concession fee from the concessionaire. When they submitted the proposal, they made a proposal that they will be paying KA on annual basis $47 million to take care of other requirements. In the negotiation, we negotiated up to what, $50 million, and it is resident in the heads of terms item 2.4, which my honorable CS has referred to, 12.4.
So, Chair, and you are comfortable with that figure?
We are comfortable with this figure because what this figure is supposed to do is to help us repay the outstanding loans, run the operations of the other facilities, over and above the revenues which are being generated.
Why was the loans which we have not included in the list that you on that concessionaire clause? Because we know what the airport owes.
What we've done is that this...
Just hold on before I finish through you, Chair. And if the airport reached a stage and the debts were paid, who would be receiving that money?
This money will continue to be received by KA because KA is also...
I told you that there is a section of this agreement where actually at some point KA is going to have to relinquish the responsibility of running that airport.
No.
Which you agreed to.
Honorable Chair, there is no day KA will vacate the management of JKI.
Okay, thank you, Chair. Now, the next question I want to ask Chair, because I don't have a lot of time.
2 minutes.
You know a company called CS. I am a bit uncomfortable because you are not there, but I'm sure because of institutional memory, your teams would most probably... The company called LG that is providing the evaluation and analysis, the financial... How was it recruited? Did you advertise for this job?
Let me put it like this, Honorable Chair. LG is the one which advised the government. Yes.
Excuse me, Chair. Answer the question. Don't tell me the story of what LG does.
For the feasibility study,
whatever that was
we are the ones who recruited LG.
Did you advertise for them to be recruited?
We never.
According to the procurement law.
What happened was that, and that one...
The answer is yes or no.
Give the MD an opportunity to answer you.
Yeah, these are yes or no. When you see somebody is lying,
you know, yes
they will
or
start
no
telling
is
you
mathematical.
a story.
I mean,
I just want him to say yes.
give him.
We did tendering.
That's the way
and
I've given you an
recruited, or we didn't.
opportunity to ask question. Give them a chance to answer a question.
Honorable Senator, we want you to inform the public, and therefore we want to give you the right information to inform the public. What happened was that way back in 2022, LG did the National Aviation Policy and Medium-Term Investment Plan for the government of Kenya under the directorship of the PPP Directorate. Because the report was high level, we wanted to have a detailed feasibility study. So we wrote on their institutional memory and the fact that they had data. So we recruited them directly to do for us the feasibility study.
Chair, help me.
You got the answer. They recruited directly. Next question.
You did direct procurement for a company that is going to do an evaluation and giving an history, and that is going to tell us the evaluation of our right?
We saluted the law to the letter.
You didn't follow the law. So I come to the next question, Chair. There's a reason why I asked that question. When you decided that you are now going to actually bring in Adani and they are supposed to be running our airport and there are other things that they are going to do, when you brought in AG to come in and these discussions are going on, did you feel there was a necessity for you to start engaging the stakeholders, particularly the workers of the airport and including the business interests and the people who are running the businesses at the airport? Did you conduct feasibility studies before you and Adani could sit down so that you get the direction the public is thinking, or did you decide that the public was not needed in making that decision?
Honorable Chair, as I mentioned earlier, LG did for us a feasibility study upon which we got the numbers now to engage. Now, in terms of engaging the workers and the other stakeholders of the airport, we were not in a position where we had the concretized information which we could now discuss with the concerned stakeholders. And that's why we waited for the heads of terms to be ready, things cleared, so that we have something which we can discuss, which we can share with the concerned stakeholders. I submit, Chair.
So through you, Chair, there was no need to call these people. After all, as far as I'm concerned, AG is basically an illegal entity that has been conducting exercises without authority. So I will come to the next question very quickly, Chair. You have mentioned that there was no any other private organization or company that gave a proposal for them to also come in and participate in the PPP exercise. The answer I'm going to ask you, my leader, is very simple. Did you receive any report from any other company making a request that they also would want to participate in this exercise?
Honorable Chair, the only PIP we received was from Adani Airport Holdings, but not from any other party. PIP.
Through you, Chair, did you find that normal? That one company, let's assume we are, I am a and I want to
PPP Act, which we have spent so much time indicating some have this engagement that we have, ensure that we do go through every stage and satisfy ourselves to the extent that before executed everybody, and that's why it will go to the AG for legal opinion, it will go to the provide any information at any time.
I think,
Chair, I would like to conclude in just 30 seconds. Closing remarks.
Closing remarks.
Thank
So
you.
Use your closing remarks, yes.
CS, I have a message for you. Because you've been my friend for many, I think 35 years. I have high regard for you. You know, notice I've never
Had issues with you. Please tell the president this is a bad deal. He can reconfigure it. He can get a better company which has got respect, which is respected globally. If he can't get Emirates or Qatari, he can get Etihad. We understand that they are bilaterals. We understand, I worked in foreign affairs. We know that there are certain arrangements and agreements the president can sign to benefit the country.
Please tell him this thing is a stinker. Let's do it within the law. Kenyans are really upset with what is going on right now. And please, whatever you saw happening at that airport, don't take it for granted. Those people are very, very upset.
Their lives are in jeopardy. You're talking about 5,000, 6,000 people. Nobody knows what this agreement is. Simplify it. Bring it to this committee. Give them a program. Tell them, look at this agreement. This is what we are looking at. Who would say no? If you come and tell me, like Rwanda, we have resuscitated KQ with 50 or 60 aeroplanes. We have paid the debt that KQ has. You are going to pay our workers who are destitute in that airline, and you are setting up Nairobi to be a hub. Which airline are you going to use to build the numbers that you want? We don't have an airline. You haven't solved the KQ problem. I beg you that this is a matter that Kenyans have taken very seriously. And thank you, sir.
Senator Sifuna.
Thank you, Chair. In closing, Honorable CS Chirchir, I'm sure by now you know that the problem with the government in which you serve is not a communication problem. It is a credibility problem. Nobody trusts this government.